Imagine a world where a handful of individuals and private firms quietly control whether your country gets fuel this winter, whether grocery shelves stay stocked, or whether the metals inside your phone ever reach the factory. No headlines, no press conferences, just pure, staggering power operating in the shadows of the global economy. Welcome to the world of commodity trading. These are not household names. You will not see them trending on social media or ringing opening bells on Wall Street. Yet commodity traders move oil across oceans, redirect grain shipments between continents, and shift metal supplies worth hundreds of billions of dollars annually. They are the invisible architects of modern civilization, controlling the essential resources that keep industries running, nations fed, and economies alive. So who exactly are these people, and just how much power do they truly hold? Let us find out. Commodity trading is far older than most people realize. Thousands of years ago, merchants traveled dangerous routes across Asia, Africa, and Europe, exchanging spices, silk, and precious metals. These ancient trade networks, including the famous Silk Road, were essentially the world's first commodity markets, where the value of goods shifted based on supply, demand, and distance. As civilizations grew, so did the complexity of trade. Merchants began developing early contracts and credit systems to manage risk across long journeys. By the 17th century, organized exchanges began emerging in Amsterdam and London. Then came a defining moment in 1848, when the Chicago Board of Trade was established, creating a formal marketplace for agricultural futures. This transformed trading from simple barter into a sophisticated financial system. Standardized contracts replaced handshakes, and speculation became a legitimate profession, laying the groundwork for the trillion-dollar industry operating today, to make split-second decisions worth millions of dollars. At their core, they buy and sell raw materials like crude oil, wheat, copper, and natural gas, moving these resources from where they are produced to where they are needed. But it goes far deeper than simple buying and selling. Traders engage in speculation, making calculated bets on whether prices will rise or fall. They use hedging to protect against unexpected price swings, essentially buying insurance against market volatility. Then there is arbitrage, one of their most powerful tools, where traders exploit price differences across different markets, regions, and time periods. For example, a trader might purchase oil cheaply in the Middle East and sell it at a premium in Asia, pocketing the difference. Every single day, these professionals analyze weather patterns, geopolitical tensions, shipping routes, and economic data. Now that we understand what commodity traders do, let's talk about who actually dominates this secretive world. The names Glencore, Vitol, Trafigura, Cargill, and Louis Dreyfus may not ring bells the way Apple or Amazon does, yet these firms move staggering amounts of money every single year. Vitol alone has handled revenues exceeding $300 billion in a single year, dwarfing many Fortune 500 companies. Cargill, a privately held American giant, regularly posts revenues surpassing $150 billion annually, making it one of the largest companies in the United States by revenue. Trafigura moves millions of barrels of oil daily across dozens of countries. What makes these firms truly remarkable is their deliberate invisibility. They rarely seek headlines, avoid public stock listings when possible, and operate through complex networks of subsidiaries spanning every continent, quietly controlling the arteries of global commerce. Their mining operations span the Democratic Republic of Congo, Australia, and Kazakhstan, making them a truly untouchable force in global resource control. Its story begins with Mark Rich, a controversial genius who founded the original company in 1974. Rich essentially invented modern commodity trading, pioneering spot market oil deals at a time when long-term contracts dominated the industry. After Rich's departure following legal troubles, the company rebranded as Glencore and continued expanding aggressively under CEO Ivan Glasenberg. Today, Glencore controls roughly 30% of the world's cobalt supply, a mineral absolutely critical for electric vehicle batteries. They also dominate significant portions of global zinc and coal markets. This isn't just business dominance, it's geopolitical leverage. When Glencore decides pricing or restricts supply, entire industries feel the impact. Governments negotiate carefully with them. When it comes to feeding the world, 4 companies hold extraordinary power. Known collectively as the ABCD companies, Daniels Midland, Bunge, Cargill, and Louis Dreyfus together control an estimated 70 to 90% of global grain trading. These firms are not household names, yet their decisions ripple across dinner tables in every corner of the planet. Operating vast networks of silos, shipping fleets, and processing facilities, the ABCD companies manage the entire journey of grain from farm to fork. When they adjust pricing strategies or redirect supply chains, entire nations feel the consequences. Developing countries heavily dependent on wheat and corn imports are especially vulnerable. During the 2007 to 2008 global food crisis, grain prices surged dramatically, pushing millions into hunger. Critics pointed directly at commodity traders whose speculative positions amplified price volatility. The ABCD companies essentially function as invisible gatekeepers of global food security, wielding influence few governments can match. Commodity traders don't just follow geopolitics, they shape it. Some of the most powerful trading firms have operated in conflict zones, sanctioned nations, and politically unstable regions where others feared to tread. Mark Rich, the founder of what eventually became Glencore, famously traded oil with Iran during the hostage crisis, defying United States sanctions entirely. Vitol supplied fuel to Libyan rebels during the 2011 civil war, effectively choosing sides in an active conflict. These traders cultivate relationships with governments, warlords, and international bodies, navigating a complex web of diplomacy and self-interest. In many resource-rich but unstable nations, commodity traders often become indispensable partners to ruling regimes, exchanging access to global markets for exclusive resource contracts. This gives them extraordinary leverage, sometimes rivaling that of sovereign nations. The ethical line between pragmatic business and complicity in oppression has always been dangerously thin in this industry. Now that we understand the geopolitical reach of commodity traders, let's examine the financial machinery that makes it all possible. At the heart of commodity trading lies a sophisticated toolkit of futures contracts, options, and derivatives. A futures contract is essentially an agreement to buy or sell a specific quantity of a commodity at a predetermined price on a future date. These instruments allow traders to lock in prices and manage risk across volatile markets. But the real game changer is leverage. Through leverage, a trader can control millions of dollars worth of oil or wheat by putting up only a fraction of that value as collateral. For example, with just $100,000, a trader might control commodity positions worth several million dollars. This amplification works beautifully when markets move in their favor, generating extraordinary returns. However, when markets turn against them, those same leveraged positions can trigger catastrophic losses, sending shockwaves through the entire global financial system. The immense power of commodity traders has never come without serious controversy. Critics have long accused major trading firms of market manipulation, artificially influencing prices to maximize profits at the expense of ordinary consumers and vulnerable nations. Many firms operate through complex offshore structures in jurisdictions like Switzerland and Singapore, allowing them to minimize tax obligations on billions in earnings. Environmental advocates point to the devastating ecological consequences of resource extraction operations that traders finance and facilitate worldwide. Perhaps most troubling are accusations of profiting from humanitarian crises, where food and energy shortages become opportunities rather than emergencies. The 2022 energy crisis crystallized public outrage when firms like Vitol and Trafigura posted record-breaking profits while European households struggled to pay skyrocketing heating bills. Governments began demanding greater transparency, questioning whether private trading firms wielding such extraordinary influence should operate with so little regulatory oversight and accountability. As the world accelerates toward renewable energy and electric vehicles, commodity traders are doing what they do best: adapting. The same firms that built empires trading oil and coal are now aggressively pivoting toward the minerals powering tomorrow's economy. Lithium, cobalt, and rare earth metals have become the new oil, and trading giants like Glencore and Trafigura are positioning themselves at the center of these supply chains. Glencore already controls significant cobalt production, giving it enormous leverage in the electric vehicle battery market. Meanwhile, traders are entering carbon credit markets, buying and selling the right to emit greenhouse gases as governments tighten environmental regulations worldwide. This is not a reinvention, but rather an evolution, applying the same arbitrage strategies, logistical networks, and geopolitical maneuvering to an entirely new commodity landscape. The energy transition has not weakened commodity traders. It has simply handed them a brand new playing field. Commodity traders operate in the shadows, yet their fingerprints are everywhere. Behind every tank of gas you pump, every loaf of bread you slice, and every smartphone you hold lies a complex web of deals, contracts, and calculated risks orchestrated by a handful of powerful firms most people have never heard of. They have shaped wars, fed nations, fueled economies, and quietly accumulated influence that rivals governments themselves. From ancient spice routes to lithium mines powering tomorrow's electric vehicles, these traders have always found a way to sit at the center of human civilization's most essential needs. But here is the question worth sitting with. Is this concentrated power in private hands simply the necessary engine that keeps global commerce moving efficiently? Or is it a force operating with far too little transparency and accountability for the extraordinary influence it holds over all of our lives?